If you like what I make and want to help out the channel, make sure you subscribe to it, turn on notifications, leave a like on the video below, and comment as well. Thanks for your support, guys.
Hey there YouTube, welcome back to the Gekko, another day, another video for you guys, and this is the second video of this series about free-to-play gear. And this is all about range attack. The only stats we're going to care about today is range attack. We're going to look for the best possible free-to-play gear to get the most range attack possible. Again, we're looking at two types of free-to-play gear. Free-to-play materials gear and Monster Hunt free-to-play materials gear. Okay, so you're gonna have the potential to choose between the two types, and based on what you decide, get the better stats or use the materials you have or whatever not. It's all up to you. Let's go ahead and look at range attack. We're filtering by range attack and start with the helmet. Once again, just like our previous video and like I mentioned in the video, the best range attack Monster Hunt free-to-play helmet is again the Indulgent Visage with 10% range attack. And unfortunately, all the other helmets, every single other helmet is pay to play. So there is no other helmet that is, I mean, this one's alright. Maybe if you're doing the labyrinths and you want to get 9%, even though this guy gives you 10. So I really don't see a reason to get this, with the exception of the army max HP. And even then, it's still, I don't think, worth it. Other than that, than this, really, there is no free to play helmet that has the range attack possibility. I think I'm in the process of forging one of these for myself. Very, very useful. Unfortunately, when it comes to armor, and I'm going to give a little bit of a spoiler on the cavalry attack as well, just like I did in the last video about this. There is no armor that is free to play that has range attack, or no armor that is free to play that has cavalry attack. So really, the only thing you're left with, and that's pretty unfortunate, and I was super surprised. IGG need to make a change really quickly about this. The only armor that has any attack stat is the grimy plate, which has infantry attack, and that's it. That's all there is in terms of attack, unless of course you're looking for siege attack, which then you have all these, or you want a trap attack, which has nothing. So that's kind of annoying, kind of, you know, it is what it is though. That's what you have to play with. So grimy plate for the armor is what we got. Let's go look at the shoes, and here we have somewhat of a dilemma, but not really a dilemma if you think about it a little bit further. Basically, as part of your growth set, you're gonna most likely end up making the Amethyst boots, because the Amethyst boots are the only free-to-play boots that give you construction speed, unless of course you end up going for the Griffin Talon slowly and steadily, which you should, but regardless, you might end up getting these. The good thing is that these boots also have the best ranged attack out there, and they also have the best cavalry attack as a free-to-play item. Of course, they take a lot of the materials that are construction set, but that's okay because it's part of your construction set, right? Again, the question here is whether you're building a construction set and then a fighting set, or you're willing to mix and match, which isn't really recommended, but it's better than nothing when you only have these. Whenever you can make your actual free-to-play fighting gear, right, you're gonna want to go with the durable boots as a free-to-play strictly materials like item. This one also has the same amount of range and pretty much also the same amount of cavalry, but it also comes with 10% army defense, which is very good. It is of course better than construction speed when it comes to war. So you are going to want these at some point, but for now, if you end up starting right here, it's not a bad thing. This is the best range attack you can get. Of course, there are other shoes, right? But you don't want to compromise. You don't want to. Why would you do this? Why would you go for any of these, right? They're lower stats, and these guys actually work out very good for your construction set in the beginning. These guys later on are the best for war, so why wouldn't you, right? Let's go look, however, at the Monster Hunt free-to-play best legs, and honestly, these are also the best for cavalry. Honeycomb Chaps. These guys have 12% range attack and 12% cavalry attack. Add a little bit of range defense. Free to play materials. I'm actually not able to make it just yet because I haven't hunted bees. I hunted bees maybe once because I just wanted to try. I didn't focus on these guys. You know, there's always two types of monsters. These are not usually in my focus, and so aren't the Mecha Trojans, by the way, or the Tidal whatever not. That's why if you see that I have less materials of those, you'll now understand why. The Honeycomb Chaps are very, 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 very good. I'm actually going to go for these at some point in time. I started with my I started with the infantry shoes, right? Because I had the materials for the corrupted boots. However, whenever I have the materials to make the honeycombs, you bet your ass I'm gonna make them, and I'm gonna use these guys just as well. So these are the best legs when it comes to range attack and also cavalry attack, by the way. So we covered pretty much all cavalry attack as well, because it's both the same types of shoes, same types of everything are the best. Let's go look at the main hand. Now the main hand has two of the items that are very interesting. So range has a crossover that is very, very cool. There is once again the Venom Stinger as one of the number ones, and it comes with infantry attack 10%. However, if you decide to go for a cavalry range mix rather than an infantry range mix, you have also the Falcon Gale, which gives you the same amount of range attack, and it also gives you the same amount of infantry attack except in cavalry. So this is the same thing for cavalry as this for infantry. So these two are really your best option. It really depends on what you're trying to build. You want to go with your infantry or you want to go with your cavalry. Now the thing is, right, because you are a free-to-play player and you haven't unlocked, most likely, right, I don't even have the option to look at this yet, but you haven't unlocked your wedges, you haven't unlocked your range and cavalry phalanx, you're automatically in infantry phalanx, which means your infantry is your front line always. So you might want to consider having the stronger infantry than a cavalry, or else you will most likely get your front line wiped out really fast, okay? So that's something to keep in mind. Let's keep going through the gear and look at the main hand Monster Hunt free-to-play, sorry, not pay-to-play, Monster Hunt free-to-play gear that is actually the best range attack, and it's the Harbinger, however the hell you say this thing. It's the whatchamacallit, what's his name? This is the Grim Reaper, right? Yeah, as you can see, the materials are super, super easy to get. I'm already pretty much almost, I need one more of these to get this to uncommon, and I can make this uncommon very easily. Would give me some quick 2.5%. It also comes at the end of it with 10% army defense, which is really good. This would be your main hand for Monster Hunt free-to-play gear that is maximized for range attack. Now let's go look at the offhand. The offhand, you also have two options, and these are two interesting options. So the first one is the Lunar Scimitar, something, I don't know how to say it. I'm bad at pronouncing these names, but what's important about this is the 9% attack it gives, and on top of that, you have 11.5% army max HP. Now this is, in my opinion, a no-brainer. This is by far one of the best offhands, especially because of the army max HP, 9% range. Really, there's not much you can compare it to. You could go to this guy and say, well, we can mix here between infantry and range, but again, you have a total here of 11 attack, and you're adding 2 extra attack stats and giving up on 11.5 army max HP. I don't know. I don't think that's a good offset at all. When it comes to free-to-play Monster Hunt gear, where did it go? You have our beautiful Wyrm Lantern right here. 10% range attack, range max HP, and some cavalry defense. Again, pretty decently easy to get. Just gotta hunt a little bit of your worms, and that's that. Your offhands are right next to each other. You'd be giving yourself another 1% range attack here and giving up on this. I'm not entirely sure whether the offset is worth it, right? If you're doing maybe a cavalry range mix, then maybe this is good for you because you get a little bit of defense on your specific cavalry. But again, in here you'd get them too. So it's like, it's up to you. If you have the materials to get this done, you should. Again, these 3 are actually very important in terms of growth, right? So you might actually start off with this because you won't be using these and get this guy. And once you're done with your growth set, you'll go ahead and make the lunar, right? It makes more sense. Now, as I said in the previous video, this is actually also the only free-to-play ring or accessory you can get. The Lost Islandic Relic has 6% ranged attack, and that's all you have. That's all you have. I mean, these guys, I mean, you have this one at 4%, but why would you go for 4%? 2% army max HP is not really worth it, and the food production you really don't need. Other than that, everything else is pay to play. So I really don't see why would you compromise and go for this instead of this bad boy right here. If you go, as I said in the previous video, only for free to play, no monster hunt free to play, you'll end up with 36.5% range attack added to your stats. And if you mix and match the monster hunt free to play and the free to play based on whichever one is best, you'll end up with 58% extra range attack. Add to that the 160 you will get from jewels. At some point in time, you can end up with 218% on top of your talents, which means at a good talent set, you'll end up over the 300, which is very decent. It's not bad at all. That's all I have for you guys today. That's all there is about range attack. The next video is going to be about cavalry attack. We're going to lock down the best cavalry attack possible gear. If you have any questions, comments, suggestions, anything, leave me a comment below. The list of the materials and of the gear that I talked about is in the description below, so you can go ahead and look at that and look at it in the game as well. Any comments, suggestions, questions, anything, whatever you want, leave me a comment below. Make sure you smash that like button. If you don't want to leave a comment below, you can always hit me up on Twitter, Facebook. Links are in the description. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care. Peace.